The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is getting more wild and raises more questions by the day. We are going to go over the timeline, the Guthrie's plea to the kidnapper, and ask all the questions nobody else is asking. Nancy leaves her home via an Uber at 5:32 p.m. and spends approximately 3.5 hours at her daughter Annie's home, eating dinner and playing games. A family member then drove her home, where data shows her garage door opened at 9:48 p.m. Then the data shows her garage door closes at 9:50 p.m. Approximately 4 hours pass from the time she gets home, and at 1:47 a.m. her Ring camera is disconnected. Another 25 minutes pass, and at 2:12 a.m. a person is detected on camera. Due to her camera system not recording footage, there is no image. People have speculated that this particular camera was inside the house. We know this can't be correct because police said that even though they believe it was a person, it could have been a dog. Investigators will not confirm whether or not this camera was inside or outside. However, Nancy didn't have any pets, so this particular data must have been from outside the home. 16 minutes later, her pacemaker disconnects from her Apple Watch and cell phone. This does not mean that her pacemaker stopped working. We know she left her Apple Watch and cell phone behind. So this most likely means that she was taken at this time and went out of range, and they then disconnected. When she didn't arrive at her church service on Sunday morning, a friend called one of her family members to check on her, and it was at 11:56 a.m. that her family arrived at her house. At 12:03 p.m., after not being able to locate her and noticing some concerning things in her house, they called police. The first patrol car arrived at 12:15, and the search began. On Monday, February 2nd, a CBS affiliate received the first ransom letter. On Tuesday, February 3rd, TMZ also received one. Authorities have not relayed much information in regards to what was in the letter. They did say there were 2 deadlines that were given. The family had until 5 p.m. on Friday, February 6th, to pay the ransom, which is said to be several $1,000,000 in Bitcoin. If they couldn't accomplish this, they would give them a hard deadline of Monday, February 9th. We also know that whoever wrote the letter mentioned a few things that seemed to indicate that they were inside the house. They mentioned about damage to the inside, a missing floodlight, what she was wearing, and that she left her Apple Watch behind. On Wednesday, February 4th, Savannah, along with her 2 siblings Annie and Cameron, posted an emotional video to her Instagram account. The video is several minutes long, and I'm not going to play it in its entirety. Here is the section that is directed to her captives.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us.
There are a few clues we can pull from this video. First, Savannah said, "We as a family are doing everything we can." She is saying this while talking to the abductor. This makes me think that in the letter, they were given a deadline to pay, and Savannah was letting them know they are doing everything they can to meet the demand. Bitcoin can easily be obtained, but only after you deposit the money onto an exchange. We know, you can't just transfer millions of dollars from your bank account. Even if you could, the family may not have that much money available. Most likely it's in investment accounts, which would need to be liquidated and transferred. This is not something you can do in a day. Second, she said, "Our family is ready to talk," reminding them that with AI, it is easy to manipulate photos and videos, and they needed concrete proof that they do have her and that she is still alive. From this, I believe the letter included a photo or video, but with AI, they can't be sure it is real. The second ransom letter was sent to another agency and has since been determined to be a hoax. The sender of this letter has since been arrested. Since then, several times we have heard the family asking the abductor to please reach out to them. I do think there was enough information in the letter to warrant it to be taken seriously. The police released the home back to the family on Monday, but then the FBI, who is handling the ransom part of the case, went back to the house for a few hours on Wednesday, after the video was released. Then on Friday, February 6th, a third ransom letter was received. This sparked the FBI to return to Nancy's home for a third time. Saturday night, when she was dropped off, she reportedly entered through the garage. The door opens up at 9:48 and closes at 9:50. I know people are questioning why she would have gone through the garage and not the front door. I know a lot of people who never use their front door. They either go in through a side door or their garage. This is not so uncommon. Here you can see a photo of Nancy's home. You can see how the driveway loops through the front of the house and goes back a bit to the garage. The car could have pulled in and stopped in front for her to get out, but then she would have to go upstairs. It's been said that she had limited mobility and couldn't walk but a short distance on her own. Also, you see there does not appear to be a walkway from the front door to the side of the house where the garage is. So this makes sense to me that the garage would be where she would enter and exit her home. This is the back of Nancy's house. This is also where we believe that the abductor came in because we were told the back door was wide open when the family arrived. Now let's discuss the front door. You can see in this photo that the Ring doorbell was removed. This happened at 1:47 a.m. Also, you can see in this photo there is blood in front of the door. If you look closely, you can see there are what looks to be foliage. It's a small amount, but you can see in this photo that a small leaf is laying on top of some of the blood. Was it windy that night? How would her blood get under the foliage? Police said they sent a lot of evidence out to forensics, and so far they have only gotten back the results of the blood on the porch, and it was a match for Nancy. Ashley Banfield said she received information from a high-level, credible person with the police department. They told her that Nancy's son-in-law, who is married to her daughter Annie, is a prime suspect. When asked about this in a press conference, the sheriff said there is currently no prime suspect. However, they searched Annie's home and left with boxes containing possible evidence and towed their car. Annie lives 10 minutes from Nancy's house, yet investigators were canvassing Annie's neighborhood looking for homes with Ring cameras. This tells me Ashley may be right. Why would they canvass a neighborhood that is 10 minutes away and just happens to be the neighborhood her daughter lives in? In my opinion, there could be 3 reasons for this. First, they may want to confirm that Nancy actually left their home when they said she did. Second, they want to confirm the time when Annie or her husband returned home after dropping Nancy off. Third, they want to see if anyone left Annie's home again later that night. I have questions, and lots of them. How did blood get under the leafy foliage? What about the person detected on the outdoor camera, 25 minutes after the Ring camera was removed? Did the person remove the camera, then walk around outside for a few minutes before entering the back door? Or were there at least 2 people involved? How does Nancy typically get to church every Sunday? They said her car was still at her home, but if she took an Uber to Annie's home, then does that mean she doesn't drive the car anymore? And if not, then who is responsible for taking her to church? And why didn't they come to get her that day? Then there's the ransom letter. Could it be a red herring? Why send a demand, then not contact the family again? Could this be a terrible hoax, or it did come from the abductor, but only to throw police off their scent? Did they ever had any intention of collecting the money for her release? If the abductor is close to the family, they would know some details to add into the letter. It is now 6 days since Nancy was abducted, and they are no closer to finding her than they were on day 1. If I had to come up with a scenario, based on what information we have, it would be this. Nancy went to Annie's home for dinner Saturday night and was dropped back off at home at 9:48. Around 1:30 a.m., the abductor broke in through the back door. At 1:47 a.m., they went to the front door and removed the Ring camera. They then called an accomplice, who came and parked in front of the house. The Ring camera was removed, so no one could see the car parked in front, nor see them or Nancy leaving. On the way out, she fought back, and that is where the blood came from. I have my doubts about the ransom letter. If it's really from the abductor, then there is a chance she is still alive. If it's not, then why would someone be holding an 84-year-old woman somewhere? I personally think this is someone close to her. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please consider liking and subscribing.